Autumn. There he is, the love of my life kissing my best friend. He doesn't know that he is the love of my life. Of course, no one knows it, not even my best friend. She's been leading him on, unable to decide if she's in love with him or Damon. I can't forget Dante either. The sad part was that all three of these men were brothers. I've watched their crazy love go on and on for years, if that is even considered love. I've pined for Atticus, felt his pain, and went through it all with him without knowing a single thing. Every time she broke his heart and ran toward Damon, I felt the pain that he felt. Every time she left them both and ran to Dante, I also felt it. I couldn't understand how three men could be that in love with a woman that couldn't choose one. It shouldn't be that hard. She should have chosen one. She shouldn't have them all wondering who she would run to next. Atticus didn't deserve this. None of his brothers did either. They all believed that she was their mate. I didn't think that they could all have such bad luck to end up having the same girl as their mate. I felt like something had to be wrong, but I was the only one that seemed to think that way. It didn't help that Anya was my best friend. I loved her since she was the closest friend that I had. I'm supposed to support her in this, even though I had been in love with Atticus since the first day I met him. I remember it like it was yesterday. I dropped my book onto the ground by mistake, and he'd gotten down on the floor to pick it up for me. Our hands touched for the first time that day while he was returning it to me, and the sparks I felt were enough to make me wet between my legs. I thought he felt the same way until I realized he wasn't looking at me. He was looking at Anya. It was then that I realized he was in love with her. At that time, I thought it would be okay. I thought that what I felt was just a simple crush. I was wrong. So wrong. I was 14 then. I barely knew what it meant to love someone. Now I knew that it could rip your heart into a million pieces seeing the person you love be in love with someone else. And it hurt more knowing that the person he loved kept hurting him by being indecisive. That day I thought it would stop with Atticus. I thought she would want to be with him alone. But when Anya met his brothers, she experienced the same feelings she did with him. And she didn't try to hide it from any of them. They all knew that she couldn't choose. They all knew she wanted the three of them, not just one. But they were not okay with that. They weren't happy. The brothers didn't like to share. I couldn't blame them. But why wouldn't they try to let another girl into their lives? I've been waiting for Atticus to notice me, just once. I've wanted to tell Anya that I have loved him since I first met him. I wanted her to know he was the one I wanted to be with. But like I said, at that time, I didn't know what love was. I didn't know what to expect or how to handle my feelings. And when I did finally bring up Atticus to her that day, she cut me off. She didn't let me speak. She was the first to say that she liked him, that she wanted to be with him. I didn't want to be the girl that couldn't step aside for her best friend. It's not like Atticus would have chosen me either. If I were the one that had made the first move instead of her, he would have turned me down in the blink of an eye. Maybe that was another reason I never told Anya the truth about my feelings for him. And I didn't think that now was the time for me to spill that truth to her or anyone else. It was too late for that now. It was too late for us. There would never be anything between Atticus and me. It was something I would have to learn to accept. Autumn! My mother calls my name as she barges into my room. Why are you still not dressed? I told you that the Fawns have invited us to their home for an important meeting. The Fawns. The same family I couldn't stop thinking about. Atticus Fawn, Dante Fawn, Damon Fawn. There were other siblings, but those three are the ones I knew the most about. The Fawn family were business partners with my parents. They are the reason why we're all attending the Angelites Academy for Supernaturals. Everyone knows that only the richest attend that school. Our families were billionaires. Anya did not fall into that category. She was the only girl in our year that wasn't rich. There was always one girl or boy that the principal would allow to join our school. It was a rule that they stuck by, even though not many of the wealthy families agreed with that decision. While the school usually did as the wealthy parents asked, this was one rule that was allowed despite the backlashes it received. It's because the principal wasn't a complete dickhead. He wanted to give at least one average child the opportunity to have a good education at our school. But I was sure that this rule would change when a new principal was appointed. Not many had the guts like Sir Alex Smith. I put the phone away. I didn't need to see another post of Anya and Atticus together. "Mom," I say while looking down at my t-shirt and jeans. "I am dressed." She folds her arms across her chest and wrinkles her nose like she always does when she's displeased with me. "I've grown you up better than that, young lady. Just because your father and I were nice enough to let you wear this at home, it doesn't mean that you can dress this way in public, especially not around the Fawns. You will be in a dress when you meet them tonight." "I don't understand," I pout. "You always go to these things alone. You and Dad. Then why are you dragging me along with you this time? I don't see you asking Elena or Hayes to join us as well." "This meeting happens to involve you," she snaps. "When it's Elena's turn, she will join us as well. As for Hayes, your brother is out entertaining yet another girl. I would pray for him if I were you. He's bound to cause trouble one day." What did she mean by when it's Elena's turn? Usually I would jump at any opportunity to see Atticus, but I already knew he was meeting Anya today. She told me that they had a date. It was their night. Tomorrow she will see Dante, and on Sunday she will see Damon. It's crazy that they even agreed on this weird schedule. Their relationship freaked me out a bit. My mother walks out of the room only to return a few minutes later with a royal blue dress. "Put this on. We are leaving in 10 minutes. I expect you to be in the car by then." I sigh. Just my luck. The one day I'm visiting the Fawns happens to be the one day Atticus wouldn't be present. Atticus. I should have been with Anya at this time. Instead, I'm stuck with Damon and Dante. I'm beginning to think that they did this on purpose, bringing me along with them so I would miss my date with her. I knew that those asses wanted her to themselves just like I wanted her for myself. I've never felt this way for another woman. Unfortunately, I wasn't the only one that felt this way. My brothers did as well. They were just as crazy about her as I was. That was expected since she was our mate. There was no breaking that bond unless 2 out of the 3 of us decided to make that sacrifice. So far, none of us were willing to let go of her. "Where exactly are we heading?" I ask Damon. "This route looks familiar." "To meet an old friend," he answers. "There is something important he wants to ask us." "An old friend?" I question. "Who can that be?" "Arthur Blackner," he informs me. "Are we in some kind of trouble?" I ask. "Why are we going to see a Blackner? What could be so urgent? Couldn't our parents meet with them instead?" "This meeting doesn't concern our parents, Atticus," Dante explains. "It concerns us 3 and our relationship with a certain someone." "Anya?" I question. "Bingo," he says. "What could be so important that we must travel far to see him?" "I didn't have to be here," I point out. "You're sabotaging my date with Anya and you know it." "Are we?" Dante asks. "Why would we do something like that on purpose?" I don't get to answer that question when the Jeep stops on the side of the road. I spot Arthur almost immediately. The man looks troubled. He isn't alone. He's with 2 other women. "Is it possible he has 2 mates like Anya has the 3 of us?" I ask, looking at them. That would explain why they brought me all the way here with them. Maybe they found a way to make it work, and they could probably teach their ways to us. We got out of the vehicle, and Arthur introduced us to the women that came with him. "Nice to meet you, ladies," Damon said as he shook their hands. "It's a pleasure." I nod my head slightly. "What did you call us here for?" Dante asks. "I think I have an idea, but I want a proper explanation." "At first, we thought it was your father hoping to do another business deal. There are a few things at home we wanted him to install," Damon notes. "But that's not why we're here, is it? The last I heard, you and your father are no longer allies." Arthur sighs. "I've heard something that I wasn't sure was true, but if it is, I hope you can help shed some light on a similar situation." "A similar situation?" I look at my brothers. "So our assumption was correct?" "What did you hear?" I ask. "I've heard that the 3 of you have the same mate," Arthur explains. I wipe a finger over my bottom lip and quirk a brow. "It's true, but how can that information help you?" His mention of Anya intensifies the tension between us. We still haven't gotten used to having to share her amongst the 3 of us. Talking about it didn't help. "Are these 2 women your mates?" Damon asks, searching for an answer. Both women look disgusted by his question. Of course not. One of them snaps. Only Gabriella is his mate, no one else. And it will stay that way for the rest of our lives, Gabriella adds. There is no mistaking the threat in her voice. It's concerning her. Arthur nods in the girl's direction. I'm sure you've heard of Cain, Alpha Eric's son. I believe that she could be his mate, but the problem is that he's already bonded with another woman. I wanted to know if this could happen. While we all have the same mate, none of us have marked her. We're not sure what will happen if one out of the three of us marks her. It's why we haven't done it. I'm not sure if this means that after marking your mate, it's possible to find another. All I can confirm is that you can have more than one mate. It's possible. It's not easy, sharing never is, but it's possible. I try to explain. Atticus, Dante says my name in an alarmed grumble. I think you should look at this. He hands the phone to me and I freeze. It's an article. The headline is written in bold letters, Atticus Fawn to wed Autumn Rivera. What is this article about? I demand from Dante. Mother and father did not mention anything to me about marrying a woman. And Autumn Rivera? Have they lost their minds? Autumn was my mate's best friend. They were always spending time together, and there was something about the girl that made me feel something. I can't put my finger on it. Whatever it was, I didn't like it. Not even a little. Didn't Mother tell you that there would be an important business deal with the Riveras tonight? She asked that you come home early for the announcement. I'm guessing this is what she was referring to. Damon explains as he takes another look at the article. He looks like he's reading the entire thing, trying to figure out what was happening. This can't be true, I snap. My hands are shaking with rage. I won't marry another woman other than my mate. Mother should know this. How could she do this without informing me first? Let's just stay calm, Damon says. Maybe this article is false. They're always posting false information about our lives. Let's all take a deep breath and get home to hear what our parents say about this. I don't waste any time. I was already jumping into the Jeep and waiting for my brothers as they said goodbye to Arthur. I'm driving this time. I'm letting the Jeep go as fast as it possibly could. I had to find out if anything in that article was accurate. And if it were, I would find a way to stop it. Autumn, something is happening. I don't know what it is. Our parents are too happy. Atticus's parents are shaking hands with my parents like they're about to make the biggest deals of their life. And while I should be overjoyed over this, I can't help but feel nervous and a little skeptical about the entire thing. For one, my siblings were nowhere around for this important business deal. If it were that important, they would be here as well. Why were my parents so strict about me being with them? Something tells me that I will get my answer very soon. What is going on? I ask my mother when I finally get her alone. There is something you're not telling me, and I want to know what it is. I can't help but tap my fingers against the glass impatiently as I wait for a response, a proper one. There is a reason why she brought me here with her. I should have realized that she wouldn't have dragged me all the way here without a hidden agenda. Maybe I should have tried harder to get out of this. I knew that trouble was up ahead. I just wasn't sure what kind of trouble it would be. My breath gets stuck in my throat when the door to the front of us slams open and reveals the man of my dreams, Atticus Fawn. Time stops in those few seconds, just like it always does when he enters a room. His broad shoulders fill the entrance, making it look smaller than it actually was. His eyes are cold and dangerous as he searches the room for someone. Behind him are his brothers. Damon and Dante both look as uneasy as he does. I'm too busy staring at Atticus to care about what's troubling them. His eyes briefly connect with mine, and his hands tighten into fists. Is it just me, or is he angry that I'm here? During these past few years, Atticus has barely shown me any attention, and the one time he acknowledges me, this is the reaction I get from him. His walk is mighty as he moves forward toward his target. I notice then that there is a magazine in his hand. Not just one, there are at least a dozen. There are multiple gasps throughout the room as he flings the magazines in front of his parents. I catch a picture of myself on the front cover. My heart skips a beat. I'm not the only one in the magazine. There is also Atticus. The pictures aren't what has me in a daze, however. It's the title at the top. Atticus Fawn to wed Autumn Rivera. What is this? He asks. His voice is calm, but his expression is anything but that. This is what my parents had been keeping from me. This is the reason they were all so happy. They were celebrating our marriage without telling us about it. How could they? Isn't this something we should have agreed upon first? How many people already knew about this? There were already magazines printed, which meant that we were probably the last to know about this. Judging by his actions, Atticus had also just found out. Wasn't he supposed to be on a date with Anya right now? Did this mean that she also saw the article? I hope that she knows I had nothing to do with it. I hope she knows that I didn't agree to this wedding. She was my best friend, and while I wasn't happy with some of her decisions, I wouldn't intentionally sabotage her relationship with Atticus. Atticus. His mother greets him. It's nice of you to grace us with your presence finally. As you can see, we have guests right now. If you had a question, you could have asked without throwing these magazines all over the floor. And you're late, his father adds. There is no hiding the disappointment in his voice. If you were on time, you wouldn't have had to find out this way. Find out what? He asks. That I'm getting married to a woman I don't want to marry? I fight the ache in my heart at his question. I knew he didn't want to marry me. He wasn't the one in love. I was. And he didn't know how much I loved him. I've hidden it well. She's right there. His mother snaps. Have some respect for your future wife and the future daughter-in-law of this family. Atticus takes a step toward his mother. His eyes flash with anger as he says, The only woman I will marry is Anya, no one else. He doesn't say anything else as he storms out of the room. I watch him go, my eyes lingering on the entrance until I can't see him anymore. Don't feel bad about his words. Carol, his mother, tells me. He's just in shock. The wedding will happen. Next week is the official engagement. All of the preparations have already been made. He has a right to be angry, I tell her, trying not to sound disrespectful. Neither of us was informed about this wedding. Don't you think it's unfair to us? Anya is my best friend. Everyone knows he loves her. How can I marry a man in love with my best friend? She takes my hand in hers. Anya doesn't suit our family. She will not fit in well. We are saving her the trouble. If she marries Atticus, she will not be happy, and none of us will. She explains, You are the perfect woman for him. The both of you match in every way, and our families have been friends for a long time now. This is the best match. No one else will suit our son more than you. I bite my bottom lip. I knew that Anya wasn't the right woman for him. I knew that I would suit him better, but he didn't see it like that. And that's what's important. As long as Atticus doesn't see me as the woman he wants to marry, how can I marry him? Atticus, there you are, son, my grandfather, Gerard Fawn, says as he joins me out at the lake. This was my favorite part of my home. I would always come back here and stare at the view, especially in times like this when I had a lot on my mind. Are you not speaking to me as well? He asks as he watches the lake along with me. That depends, I say. Did you also have anything to do with this wedding? He smiles. The wedding was your mother's idea, but I had nothing against it. I know you will not agree with us, but Autumn suits our family more than Anya does. Besides, your brothers will be there for her. It's unfair that all three of you got the same mate, and it's been tearing this family apart. This wedding is exactly what we need. I believe that a woman like Autumn will help you move on from Anya. Eventually, she would have had to choose one of you. It couldn't be the three of you for the rest of her life. We are saving you the heartache of the future. You say it like you know she wouldn't have chosen me to spend the rest of her life with, I note. He shrugs his shoulder. She would have chosen one of you. I'm not optimistic you wouldn't be her first choice. I'm just telling you that marrying Autumn will make it easier for your brothers and you. Why should I be the one to make the sacrifice? I ask. Because you're the eldest, he says. As the eldest, I've also had to make many sacrifices for my siblings while growing up. You have been a good child your entire life, listening to your parents, listening to your grandmother and me. If she were still alive, she would tell you the same thing that I was. Our marriage was also arranged, but we fell deeply in love. It can happen for you also. My grandmother, Annie Fawn, died 2 years ago. Her death had hit our family hard. We were all still trying to cope with it. Some may argue that 2 years was enough time to stop grieving, but she was an angel. She did everything for us. Do you think she would have wanted me to marry Autumn even though Anya is my mate? I ask him. I always respected her opinions. I wish she were still alive to answer this question on her own. He nods. Your grandmother was always very fond of Autumn. They would meet outside of our home. She never mentioned it to you, but told me how much she adored her and wished that someday she could marry into this home. My jaw clenched. His words have gotten to me. Why did she want Autumn to marry into our family? I never knew they were so close. I knew Autumn attended the funeral, but I thought she was forced to by her parents. What are you trying to tell me? I ask him. You know exactly what I'm saying. You will be fulfilling your grandmother's wish by marrying Autumn. You wondered what she would have said if she was still alive. I can tell you that she would have told you to marry her. I'm not just saying this because it's what I want or what your parents want. I'm telling you because this is what she would have liked. I stand there, looking at the lake with his words on my mind. I glance at him, and I know that he realizes he's cornered me. He said the right words. He said the one thing that would guarantee that I marry Autumn. Fulfilling any wishes my grandmother may have had will always be on my to-do list, even if those wishes meant destroying my happiness. Marrying Autumn Rivera may very well take everything from me, but I was willing to do it now, because of her. Did my parents put you up to this? I ask him. He laughs. They may have mentioned something to me. I didn't do this for them, though. I did it for you and my lady in the sky. I shook my head. I guess I should go tell them the good news. He nods. It will make their day, that's for sure. Though, even if you hadn't agreed, I know they would have found a way to convince you. It's your parents, after all. I storm back into the house with one thing on my mind. This time they're in the garden. All eyes are on me as I approach the crowd. I see her again. Autumn, my future wife. I try to ignore her beauty, standing near a bouquet of red roses with the wind blowing her long ash-blonde hair. I tighten my fists and walk past her to my parents. They are still displeased by my actions earlier. I can tell. I know they're not expecting me to accept this wedding, not this early, especially since I told them earlier that I would only marry Anya. I'm ready, I say to them. To marry Autumn. You can start the preparations. I will not try to stop it. My mother's eyes lit up with happiness, and she hugged me. I'm so proud of you, son, she said with a smile. I know that this will be the best decision of your life. Autumn will be your lucky charm. Now that's my boy, my father said as he hugged me next. This is going to be the wedding of the year. No doubt. A Rivera marrying a Fawn, finally. Autumn's parents are hugging mine. They're the happiest amongst us. One would think they were the ones getting married by how glad they were. Autumn joins us then, and she looks surprised that I agreed to marry her. She opens her mouth to say something when my phone rings. I look down at the caller ID and feel my body become still. Anya. I move away from the crowd, including Autumn. I know she also saw that it was Anya calling me. I take a deep breath as I slide to answer. Anya. Atticus, she shouts from the other end. What are these articles? Why on earth does it say that you are going to marry Autumn? It's a lie. You wouldn't agree to marry her knowing we are mates, especially when she's my closest friend. I run a hand through my hair. I'm so sorry, Anya. I only found out today from the articles. My parents didn't tell me anything about it. I confronted them, and it turned out that it was true. No, she whispers. It can't be. Please tell me that you're going to find a way to get out of this wedding. You can't marry her. You can't marry Autumn. How did I tell her that I had already agreed to the marriage? How did I tell her I wasn't about to back out of it? She will never understand my reason behind it, and I wouldn't blame her. No one would want to see their mate marry their best friend. Anya never understood when I put my grandmother first before anyone else. She wouldn't understand why I chose to accept this marriage for her either. I'll come to you, I tell her. We can talk about this in person. What is there to talk about? She demands. You're not marrying Autumn. You need to contact the people that wrote these articles and tell them that it was all a lie. It would help if you did this, Atticus. I will never forgive you if you don't. Anya, I whisper. I can barely find my voice. I try to come up with words to make this easier for both of us, but nothing comes to my mind. Don't come here. She screams at me. I don't want to see your face. I will only see you if you fix this mess that your parents caused. I don't get to say anything else to her as she cuts the call. I stare at the screen with a blank expression on my face. I can see my image looking back at me. I swallow. What the fuck am I doing? My life was already complicated before this. I remember the first day I found out that Anya wasn't just my mate, but my brother's as well. It had ripped me apart. I spent days, months, years trying to be okay with it. It's safe to say that I still wasn't. None of us were. We all knew that a day would come when she had to choose one of the three of us. She's wanted all three of us, but it's something that we couldn't do. Sharing wasn't my style. I could never share the woman I was in love with, and definitely not with my brothers. I knew that my grandfather was right. I was making things easier on everyone by agreeing to marry Autumn. I've always protected my siblings since I was young. I've looked out for them. Once more, I had to make a huge sacrifice to make them happy. Now it would be between Damon and Dante to decide. I'm sorry, Anya. Family comes first. It always has. It always will. Autumn. I bite my lip to keep myself from losing my calm. This wedding was going to drive both Atticus and Anya insane. I didn't understand him. Why did he agree to this marriage? Just a few minutes ago, he said that the only woman he would marry was Anya. What caused him to change his mind this quickly? And I could see that he was not okay with it. I know Anya was the person who just called him. I understand that this meant she had just found out the truth. The articles must have finally reached her. Our entire school must know by now. This was going to rock everyone's world. All the students knew that Atticus belonged to Anya and how crazy the three of them were crazy over her. They also knew that Anya and I were best friends. This wedding would be the talk of the town for a long time. Judging from the number of articles already published, our faces would be on the front pages of many magazines for weeks to come. Would it kill you to smile, sweetheart? My mother whispers near me. Everyone is looking at you. I try not to roll my eyes. Mother, smiling is something that only happy people do. I am not happy. Smiling is also something that can easily be faked. At least do that for me, please, she pleads. I glare at her before putting on my fake smile. Is that okay now? I ask through my fake smile. She grins. That is lovely. Now keep that smile up because you'll have to change that dress into an evening gown. You and Atticus have a photo shoot right here in the next hour. I did not walk with an evening gown, I hiss. In case you haven't realized, I was unaware I would be marrying anyone. That's already taken care of, she informs me. Your brother and sister are here. They picked up the dress for you. All that is left for you to do is change into it. Of course, I mumble. You have already thought of everything. She smiles. You know I always am prepared. Let me take you to Atticus's room. It's where you will change. Atticus's room? I ask, alarmed. Why would she take me to his room? Their mansion had plenty of other rooms that I would happily change in. Why did it have to be his? Yes, she confirms. After you get married, both of you will share the same room. There is nothing wrong with using his room to change. He is your future husband. I looked in his direction. I didn't think he would be okay with this, but I don't think my mother would give me an option to say no. I follow her into the house. This was the first time I would ever step into his room. I've always wondered what it would be like. It took us a while to get there. The distance from the garden to his room was longer than I expected. The door opened and I held my breath. It smelled like him. It was the first thing that I noticed. I wanted to bury my hands in his shirt on the bed and inhale. I'll leave you to change. My mother tells me as she shows me the dress lying right next to his clothes. And don't take too long. The photographers are already here. She closed the door behind her, and I sighed the moment I was left alone. I never thought I would ever be in the room that belonged to Atticus Fawn. The interior was black, his favorite color, just like I imagined it to be. I want to take my time taking in more of it, but I know my mother will come knocking any minute now. I pick the silver backless dress up from the bed. I hear the doorknob turn. Did Mother return so soon already? The door flies open and I say, Mom, I'm not finished. I don't finish my sentence. I can't. I'm too stunned to speak. The person in front of me is not my mother. No, it's Atticus. The dress drops from my hand. His eyes wander lower. My heart skips a beat. His gaze lingers. I can barely hear my breaths as intense hunger clouds his eyes. I've never seen a man look at me that way before, and I've never seen that look in his eyes, even when he looked at Anya. It was so new to me. The sound of footsteps breaks both of us out of our trance. Atticus steps in and slams the door shut before anyone can see me. The sound is enough to remind me of my state. He clears his throat. "I'll leave when my brother walks past my room," he tells me. Did I mistake it, or was there a huskiness to his voice? "It's okay," I whisper. "This is your room. I'll be finished in a minute. You can have the room to yourself after." "No," he disagrees. "There is no need to rush." There is a slight pause before he softly says, "This will be your room eventually." A minute passes, and I hear the door open and close behind me. I let out a breath I didn't realize I had been holding as I fell onto his bed. My face hits his shirt and I inhale even though I shouldn't. Why do even his clothes smell as good as him? It doesn't make any sense to me. I jump off the bed when the door suddenly opens again. "Autumn, why are you still not dressed?" my mother demands. "What are you waiting for?" I sigh and quickly put on the dress. She helps me zip it to the back, and then we head back out of the room. Atticus is waiting for us a little distance away, and I can feel my cheeks burn at the reminder of what just happened. Just when I thought things couldn't get worse for me, I had managed to flash Atticus Fawn. This day was about to break the record for my list of most embarrassing things I've gotten into. I watch as he walks into the room to change as I have done. "Your phone is blowing up," my sister tells me as she joins my side. I take it from her and stare at the many notifications. Oh crap. Everyone from my school knew that I was marrying Atticus already, just like I had suspected. Some were calling me a fake friend. Others were begging me to be their friend now that I would be married to Atticus. None of those things managed to upset me like the one message that stood out. It was from Anya. How could you? It was just 3 words, but it left the impact that she wanted it to have on me. It wasn't my intention to marry Atticus. I didn't think he would have agreed to any of this. When I get a chance, I will have to corner him about everything. It couldn't be something simple that made him agree to marry me. Did his parents threaten him and force him to agree? But they were by my side the entire time. They wouldn't have had the chance to convince him. Someone or something else was the cause for his sudden change in decision. There are 10 missed calls from her, my closest friend. She should know that I would never intentionally betray her. This was out of my control. I didn't even know about it to begin with. Maybe I can meet with Atticus, and we can discuss finding a way to stop the wedding. Even though my heart belonged to him, I didn't want to take him away from Anya. I cared about them too much to separate them from each other. When Atticus walks out of the room, my heart stops beating for a second. I can't help but stare. The white shirt complements his eyes, and the fabric pressed tightly against his body leaves nothing for the imagination. He catches me staring, and my breath gets caught in my throat. I quickly looked away, trying to act normal even though my heart was racing in my chest. This is the effect he always had on me. Except now he was finally looking my way. He never did before. I had his attention, and I wasn't prepared at all for my body's response to it. He's beautiful. Atticus is the most beautiful man I've ever set my eyes on, too good-looking for his own good. "Come with me," Atticus says, and I do as he says. He takes us to the photographer. The man looks eager to take our pictures. This must be something he loves doing. Was he accustomed to taking pictures of couples who didn't want to get married? If not, this was about to be interesting for him. "Put your arms around her." The photographer orders Atticus. There are other photographers to the back, ready to snap as well. I bite my lip when his fingers curl around my waist. His hand was warm, his body was too, and it felt good next to mine. His scent was stronger now that he was this close to me, and I think I might faint from this contact. "I need you both to give me your best smile," he continues to tell us. Our best smile? Neither of us was happy. How could we do that? My mother points at her lips, mimicking a smile. I sigh and do as the photographer asks. I can feel the anger radiating off Atticus. He's pissed that he has to do this with me, and I don't blame him. No one should be forced to do anything they weren't happy doing. My body is motionless as I wait for it to be completed. I'm trying not to enjoy his nearness, but it's hard to do. I'll make this work. He dismissed us suddenly. After the photo shoot, I followed Atticus back into the house until I got a chance to be with him alone. When he turns to look at me, he doesn't look surprised. He must have already sensed me behind him. "Why are you following me, Autumn?" My name on his mouth sends a shiver down my spine. How many times have I wished to hear my name in his mouth? This wasn't how I wanted it to happen, however. "I want to know if there is a way for us to get out of this marriage," I tell him. "I know you don't want to marry me. I know you love Anya, and she is my best friend. I don't want her to think I'm betraying her by marrying you. I can't get out of it on my own. I'll need your help." Atticus looks surprised at my words. He didn't expect me to ask him to get out of this marriage. What was so shocking about that? Did he think I was just like my parents? My hand begins to quiver when he takes a step toward me and places one hand above my head. His gaze is severe and intense as he looks at me. "I've already agreed to marry you, Autumn," he says. "I'm not a man that goes back on his word. This wedding is happening." I bite my lip, and his gaze lowers to it. My breath hitches at the look in his eyes. I must have imagined it. Atticus would never look at me with heat like that. I try to breathe through the intense emotions in my heart. I had to be imagining this. "Why did you agree to marry me?" I ask him. "Just a few hours ago, you hated the idea of it. What could have possibly made you change your mind so quickly?" He sighs. "That isn't important. All you need to know is that this wedding is happening. If you tell me now that you don't want to marry me, I'll find a way to stop it. But if you don't have any complaints, I will marry you." My lips part. If only he knew the truth in my heart. If only he understood how much I wanted to marry him, but only if he wanted me. I didn't want this to be forced. I don't say anything else, and Atticus takes that as my consent to him marrying me. He's still staring at me, making me nervous under his gaze. "There you two are," my mother says as she spots us. "There is one more picture that we didn't take." "Another picture?" "Mother," I say. "We've taken enough, more than enough." She grabs my hand and pulls me with her. "No, it's not enough. This last picture is an important one. We need the public to believe that you're both in love, and this is going to help with that." I sigh. I guess there is no point in saying no now. I already agreed to everything else. "That's the spirit," she cheers. It's hard trying to put a smile on my face when I am far from happy. My mother doesn't realize how much this bothers me. She's too preoccupied with her excitement to take a second and look at me. I know she thinks this is the right thing for us, but how can she be so sure? I fold my arms as Atticus joins me in front of the photographer. He looks just as over this as I am. Even the photographer seems to sense the tension between us. He probably couldn't wait to get this over with as well. He was happier before when he thought we wanted to marry each other. He must know by now that this is an arranged marriage, not one out of love. "What pose do you want us to do?" Atticus asks. There is no hiding the irritation in his voice. I try not to let it bother me. I gave him the chance to stop the wedding. He didn't take it. There was nothing else that I could do. I shouldn't feel guilty over this. The only person I had to ask for forgiveness after this was Anya. I had to speak to her and explain everything that took place. This wasn't just a shock to her. It would take me months to come to terms with everything that happened today. It all took place so quickly that my mind is still trying to process it. A kiss. That's the last picture I need to take. My body goes still. A kiss? Are they insane? We just learned that we have to marry each other, and suddenly they expected us to kiss. I can hear Atticus's breathing next to me. It's loud and uneven. He doesn't want to kiss me, I can tell. "Is that truly necessary?" he asks the photographer. "Of course, it is," he answers him. "You're going to marry her. It's a simple request." Grooms are usually happy to kiss their brides for a picture. I've never come across a reaction like this before. Atticus's mother narrows her eyes at him. "There is no need to cause a scene, son. Kiss Autumn so that we can have this picture posted as soon as possible." I don't get time to finish as Atticus's hand lightly grips my waist and turns me towards him. My eyes widen when his lips come down on mine. And that's how my first kiss with him happened, with my eyes wide open. His are too. We're both staring at each other as his lips stay on top of mine, unmoving. I'm not prepared for the rush of emotions that flood my body. It's unlike anything I've experienced before with any other man. This time, I feel it down to my toes. My eyes slowly close as I let my body take over. I have no control over myself as I wrap my arms around his neck and pull him closer to me. Atticus's body goes still at my reaction, and his grip loosens on my waist. It's like he's unsure what to do now that I'm kissing him back. It's almost like he's in shock. I know that this doesn't seem right. I know that I should pull away, but the moment he kissed me, I lost all control. My body has wanted this for so long that it's not thinking straight. Another growl pulses from him as he rips his body away from mine. My eyes widen with horror as he wipes his lips as though to rub my taste away. Did he hate it that much? "This is perfect," the photographer says. "For someone that didn't want to do the kiss to begin with, you did an excellent job." Atticus looks anything but happy with his praise. I couldn't believe it. I've been dreaming of kissing Atticus since I first fell in love. I've always wondered what it would be like to have his lips on mine. I knew now that it was more than I'd ever hoped for from him. I clutched my chest. My heart was racing, pounding hard and fast. I watch as Atticus storms out before anyone can say anything else. I knew he was even more upset than he was showing. I slowly bring my finger to my lips, still tingling from his kiss. "Did I say something wrong?" the photographer asks. His voice reminds me that I wasn't alone. I didn't want everyone to see how affected I was by his kiss, though that wouldn't be such a bad thing since strangers needed to believe that we were in love. While they would easily be able to tell that Atticus was not in love with me, I feel like anyone would be able to read straight through me like an open book. "Do not take his actions to heart, Mr. Asanto," his mother assures him. "My son is a little stressed from all of the preparations. That's all." She lied with so much ease, it was a shock to me. It would seem that my parents weren't the only ones with this skill. I know that I shouldn't follow after Atticus, but my feet are moving without my permission. I want to ensure he is okay and doesn't do anything stupid. I keep searching for him until I finally do spot him. He's entering his car, one of the many his family owns. They were the best in designing fast vehicles and manufacturing them. They also added special features, whatever their customers desired. They were brilliant when it came to fast cars. That's why once someone bought a car from them, they didn't bother looking elsewhere. I wasn't sure if Atticus should be driving under these conditions. I try to get to him before he leaves, but he's already speeding past me. My hair flies all over my face from the force of it. I sighed. Now I had to hope that he drove safely and didn't act recklessly because of the wedding. My heart races with fear as I watch his car drive off with him in it. Atticus. The engine revs as the car accelerates. I have plenty on my mind. There is so much, yet I can't focus on anything else but the kiss I just shared with Autumn. Her lips were soft like butter, and her taste was still in my mouth. Her taste was like a sweet apple, and her scent was like fresh roses. I swallowed, and it felt like I was letting the taste of her into my body by doing so. The guilt was eating me alive, not for kissing her, but for how it made me feel. I had a mate. I had someone I couldn't live without. So why did one kiss bother me this much? Why was the impact so strong? This was wrong. So wrong. What the was my problem? Why couldn't I have some control? I've always had more self-control than this, even around Anya. What had changed now? What was it about Autumn? I felt like a damn failure. Anya was crying and in pain, and yet I was enjoying a kiss with her best friend. The least I could do for her was not feel any emotions around Autumn, and I couldn't even do that. What would she do when that picture of us was posted? What would she do when everyone she knows sees it and asks her about us? Everyone in school knew of our relationship. They would bombard her with questions. How would she feel? It was supposed to be a peck, nothing else. But when Autumn wrapped her arms around my neck and pulled our bodies closer, something inside me snapped. It was unlike anything I'd felt in the past. I was disappointed in myself. I should have been stronger. I'd never done something like this before. Never. Not once. Autumn always could make me feel things I didn't like. It's why I tried my best to ignore her in the past. But this time, it was out of my control. I couldn't run from her anymore. She was to be my wife. Avoiding her would be stupid at this point. She would soon share the same room as me, the same car, the same house. We already attended the same school. I couldn't avoid her anymore. To make matters worse, I had seen her almost naked. I mutter a few curse words. Her body was very desirable. I hated that I noticed it the moment I saw her. I hate how much I wanted to stop and stare. Autumn has always dressed appropriately. She barely showed much skin. But this time I was able to see more than I've ever done in the past, and I wish I hadn't. It wasn't something I would ever be able to forget, no matter how hard I tried. "Call Anya," I command. "Calling Anya." My jaw clenches when she cuts the call on the first ring. Shouldn't she at least hear what I had to say? I wanted to give her a proper apology, one that she deserved after everything. She has done nothing but make me happy, and now I was hurting her. I was a failure as a mate. My brothers deserved her more than I did. They'd already left home to look after her. At least she wasn't alone. I knew that they would make up for my absence. They would give her the love that she deserved. I roar as I pound my fist against the steering wheel. When will this nightmare end? Atticus. You need to get Autumn a ring, my father tells me. It has to be appealing to the eyes. Remember, everyone would be looking at her hand. Make them stop and stare. They must know that the Fawns do not play when it comes to things like that. I should have expected this is what he wanted to discuss when he called me into his office earlier. Choosing a ring felt like something I should be doing with someone I was in love with, not a woman my family was forcing me to marry. Okay. She can choose it for herself, I tell him. I'll give her my card. The thought of choosing a ring for a woman I didn't love made me angry. My father narrows his eyes and twitches his mouth in disapproval. That will not do. You must choose it together and don't return home unless it's one of the most expensive rings in the store. I sigh. Of course, that's all he's concerned about, everyone's opinion on the ring. The only person's opinion he should be worried about is Autumn. She's the one that would be wearing it. I look at my phone when I receive a notification. It's from Anya. My heart races at finally getting a reply from her. I'm not happy with what she said, however. I thought you loved me. I was wrong about us. I hope you aren't still talking to that girl. My father says to me, "You're about to marry Autumn. Respect her and do not disappoint our family." Are you truly asking that from me, Father? I demand. You already destroyed my life and are forcing me to marry someone that I do not love for the sake of making more money and connections. How can you ask me also to stop speaking to Anya? I couldn't just cut her out of my life like she was nothing. I needed time to come to terms with everything. I needed time to get her out of my life slowly. I couldn't just close my eyes and pretend she was never anything to me. She will be a distraction. My father says as he ignores my question. I can't exactly ignore her when my brothers have her around the house now, can I? I demand. She isn't out of our lives. Whether you like it or not, Father, Anya will one day become part of this family. Whether it be Dante or Damon, one of them will marry her. He looks pissed that I just pointed out the obvious to him. He may have succeeded in getting me to marry Autumn, but my brothers were much more stubborn than I was. They would not have given in this easily. I will inform Autumn that you will pick her up at her home in an hour. He finally says, "Do not be late." I glare at him but do not say anything else. Speaking to my father about this entire thing would make me angrier than I already felt. I grab the car keys from the desk and storm out of his office. "Wow there," Griffin says when I bounce into him. "You're not in a good mood." "Yeah?" I ask. "What gave it away?" My younger brother scratches his chin as he pretends to find an answer. That's a tricky one. "You stay here and try to figure out an answer," I tell him. "I have somewhere I need to be." He grins. "It's to meet your future wife, isn't it?" I ignore the look of bliss on his face. He has never tried to hide his dislike for Anya. Of course, he will be happy that I was marrying someone other than her. Laugh now, but one day your turn will come and you'll marry someone you don't want to, I warn him. I have a solution for that, he responds. Never to fall in love. I ignore him because I know that isn't possible. Love creeps up on you, and when it happens, it's something that you can't simply ignore. He will know this soon enough. I knew where Autumn lived. I dropped Anya there a few times before. It doesn't take long for me to reach my destination. I'm surprised when she's already waiting by the gate. How long has she been waiting there for me? Her beauty strikes me at first. I've ignored it before, but this time it's hard to do the same when I know she's waiting there just for me with her short black dress and her hair tied in a messy bun. I get out of the vehicle and face her with concern. "Why didn't you wait inside for me?" I ask her. Her face turned red at my question. "I didn't wait that long. I know how quickly you drive, and your father said you would be here in an hour." She's even more breathtaking up close. I'm not prepared for it. I take a step back from her before her scent could infect me. I open her door and wait for her to enter the car before shutting it and returning to the driver's side. I can tell how nervous she is by the way she's playing with her fingers on her lap. "Where are we going?" she asks me. I glance at her and I wish I hadn't. Autumn is a sight in the front seat of my car. Her long tanned legs are folded and gently shaking. Her exposed neck is begging for a kiss, just like her pink lips were. My fingers tightened on the steering wheel as I fought the urge to touch her still trembling thighs. I dragged my gaze away before she could find me staring at her. Fuck. I knew seeing her half-naked body would have been the death of me. Now I wanted to remove her clothes and see the one thing hidden from me that day. It was an image that would haunt me for the rest of my life. I clear my throat before saying, "We have to get you a ring before the engagement party." Autumn. A ring? I didn't once think we would have the opportunity to choose rings together. I knew we were getting married, but I never thought that Atticus would personally take me with him to get a ring. He was doing everything I've dreamed of at least once in my life, and it made my heart fill with joy. How perfect would this have been if he'd wanted to do these things with me? It would be like living in my crazy dreams. Dreams that were all filled with him. I don't understand how Atticus never noticed the way my body came alive in his presence. I'm not sure how I've managed to keep this from everyone for so long. But Atticus knowing that I had feelings for him would only make all of this worse. He was already unhappy with the marriage. He would hate me if he knew how much I wanted him. To know that all this time while he was with my best friend, I've always loved him. Even I was ashamed of this. I wouldn't blame him for hating me if he ever found out. I wouldn't blame them both for hating me. It's possible that Anya already hates me. "Your parents forced you to do this, didn't they?" I ask. He wouldn't have decided this on his own. I knew that much. He was too in love with Anya to willingly go ring shopping with me. He nods. "But it's expected for you to have a ring. It would be suspicious if you didn't. Whether they forced me or not doesn't matter. I would have gotten one for you eventually." I try not to let his voice affect me, but it's hard when his voice strikes my desire for him. It's deep but somehow soothing at the same time. I felt like closing my eyes and asking him to keep talking. It doesn't matter what he says. I'll enjoy whatever comes out of his mouth. "We're here," he says suddenly. I'm disappointed that the drive was so fast. I wanted more time alone with him in the car. I knew that Atticus would wish to limit the amount of time he spent with me as much as possible. We both wanted different things. I follow him out of the car, and we walk into the store named Promise of Gold, the most expensive and popular jewelry place in town. While I want you to choose whatever you want, I should warn you that my father wants it to be expensive. Preferably the largest diamond available. We're already doing everything they're asking us to do. Why not this as well? I can't do that. I immediately begin to say, but he cuts me off with the look he gives me next. I don't think he's willing to take no for an answer. I think he mainly wants to avoid any confrontation with his parents. You know how stubborn our families are. There's no use trying to do anything different at this point. He notes, "Besides, money is not a problem for me. This is nothing for you to feel uncomfortable or guilty over." Money was not a problem for me either, but I didn't like to accept expensive gifts when I didn't deserve them, especially when someone was being forced to give them to me. The employees scramble when they spot the two of us. "Mr. Fawn, Brent, according to his name tag, greeted Atticus before turning to me with a slight nod. Miss Rivera, it's a pleasure to have you both here with us. Congratulations on your new journey together. Everyone is looking forward to the wedding of the year. We're so happy that you chose here to purchase your rings. I smiled at him, letting him know that I appreciated his words. Atticus, on the other hand, looked impatient and was constantly checking his phone. Was he looking for a message from Anya? Were they speaking to each other again? I knew she was ignoring him like she was doing to me, but I wasn't sure if that had changed. I tried to contact her to apologize and explain what happened, but she wouldn't let me. Show us your most precious rings, Atticus tells the store manager. Brent nods and nervously guides us to a private room with their priciest rings. The collections were beautiful, but I couldn't see anything that caught my interest. I wanted a ring that would make me feel closer to Atticus, and none of these were doing that for me. I knew that Atticus wanted me to choose a ring quickly so that he could get this over with, but I couldn't do that. I wanted to at least love it before I allowed him to spend all that money on me. Choose what you like, he says softly. I don't want to be the only one to choose. I would also like his opinion, but would he give it to me? Which one do you think would suit me? I ask him. I'm looking, but I don't think I see anything I want with me for the rest of my life. Atticus looks surprised by my words, but he quickly masks his reaction. She's the first I've seen that asked for her partner's opinion. You're lucky. She loves you plenty. Brent points out. The blood drains from my face. I know that Atticus wouldn't believe his words, but what bothers me is how valid those words were. I try not to look at Atticus. I didn't want to see his expression after hearing what the manager had to say. Atticus surprises me when he pulls his chair closer to the display. I continue to search along with him, and I spot something that catches my attention, the first ring to do so. Can we see that one? He asks, and my gaze follows where his finger is pointing at. I'm surprised when he's chosen the same ring that first caught my eyes, a diamond in the shape of a heart. Brent hands it over to us, and it sparkles under the yellow light. Atticus takes my hand in his and puts the ring onto my finger. My hand feels warm under his gentle touch. He stares at it for a few seconds before lifting his face and looking straight at me. My breath hitches, and it's almost difficult to breathe with the darkness in his eyes. Does he also feel the connection that I do? He breaks eye contact suddenly, and I try not to pout because of it. Do you like it? He asks. This was the one. There was no doubt in my mind that this was what I wanted. It wasn't the most expensive in the store, but it was unique and felt like it was made just for me. I don't think either of our parents would kick a fuss since it was still highly pricey, and it was beautiful. Even more beautiful to me now that Atticus was the one to choose it for me. I love it. I finally answer. Atticus looks pleasantly surprised, but he doesn't say anything to me. He hands his card over to Brent, who happily takes it from him. Aren't we also getting a ring for you? I ask him. You don't need to worry about that, he says. I'll take care of it. No, I disagree. You got me a ring. I will also like to get one for you. I'll be happy to choose one like you did for me. He's about to respond when something on his phone catches his attention. His face turns pale, and what it was must have frightened him. I have to go, he says suddenly. Something happened to Anya. Anya? I immediately stood up from the chair. If something is wrong, I need to be there as well. I want to be there for her. It's just not a good idea, Autumn. The last thing she will want to see is the two of us together. I'll call Griffin and ask him to drop you back home. I'm about to protest, but he's already out of the door before I can say anything else. Brent gives me a look of pity. I knew he wouldn't be the only one to look at me like that from now on. Atticus would always run to Anya. I didn't know how to ever get used to something like that. Atticus. My heart was racing. Damon had informed me that Anya had gotten into an accident. He sent me the location on my phone, and I was almost there. Call Griffin. He answers on the first ring. How can I be of assistance? He asks in a teasing manner. I need you to pick Autumn up from the jewelry store and drop her back home, I tell him. What? He shouts on the other end. You went with her. Why didn't you drop her back home? My jaw clenches. Anya got into an accident. I'm going to make sure that she's all right. I could practically see the annoyance on Griffin's face through the phone without actually seeing him. She's not your problem anymore. Leaving Autumn behind was a stupid move. Griffin, I growl, I didn't ask for your opinion. Just tell me if you can pick her up. Yes, I can care for your beautiful future wife since you can't do it for yourself, he says before ending the call. My jaw clenches, and I try not to let his words bother me. But it does. The thought of anyone else but me taking care of Autumn doesn't sit right with me. But what the hell was I supposed to do? I knew that Autumn would have to come first eventually after she became my wife, but for now, I want to do whatever I can to be there for Anya. These are the last moments I'll have to spend with her. I didn't want to waste any opportunity to do that. I've hurt her, and I chose my family over her. I felt I owed her plenty. I felt guilty, and that guilt felt like it was stifling me. I pull to the side when I spot her car, the same car I had bought for her last year. I jump out of the vehicle. Damon and Dante are already here, and they're comforting her. It hurts me to know I'm the last of the three of us to be there for her when she needs me. This was something I would have to get used to, but I knew it wouldn't be easy. Seeing my brothers do what I loved and knowing I couldn't do it anymore was enough to send me insane with anger. I noticed that the accident was not a bad one. The bumper was the only thing with a scrape on it, but Anya still looked shaken up. Her gaze falls on me, and she narrows her eyes. What is he doing here? She demands from my brothers. I thought I told you I didn't want to see him unless he ended this marriage with Autumn. I'm sorry, Anya. Dante apologizes to her. We knew you wanted to see him even though you said otherwise. We can feel how much you miss him. Hearing that she missed me didn't make me feel any better. I was the one doing this to her. I was making her cry and be in all this emotional pain. No one was to blame but me. I was sacrificing my happiness for the sake of my family. I was giving my brothers a chance to have her. I was making it easier for them, and I was doing this for my grandmother. I hope she's proud of me for fulfilling her wishes. Please leave, Anya begs. I do not want to see you, not after what you did, not after what you both did to me. You're both traitors, and I don't want to see either of you unless you stop this madness. I couldn't take her in my arms or wipe her tears. I had to stay still and let her vent her anger toward me. It hurt, but it felt good to be able to see her. It felt good to hear her voice. But I couldn't do what she wanted from me, and because of that, I turned and left as she asked me to. It was hard, but I did it anyway. Autumn. My eyes are stuck on the red diamond ring in front of me. I knew how much Atticus loved red diamonds, and this ring would surely catch his eyes. You have wonderful taste, Brent tells me. Do you want to purchase it? I hand him my card. Yes. I knew Atticus told me that he would take care of it, but I didn't want him to. This way, I wouldn't feel uncomfortable that he spent so much on my ring. We already have his measurements on our system. This will fit him perfectly. I smile. I wasn't sure if Atticus would be happy or upset that I'd purchased this ring without him after he'd told me not to, but I was willing to take the risk. Is Autumn Rivera in here? Someone asks. I turn towards the sound and find Griffin looking for me. I wave for him to spot me, and when he does, he smiles. Are you ready? I nod and take the rings from Brent, who thanks me once more for purchasing the ring. I'm sorry my brother left you stranded. He apologizes as we enter his car. It's okay, I assure him. I know how much Anya means to him. Besides, he didn't leave me stranded. He made sure that you came for me. Griffin sighs. If you keep thinking that way, he will always do things like this to you. You need to stand your ground with my brother and tell him if you don't like something. If not, he's going to keep thinking that you're okay with it and keep on doing it. I'm surprised that he's telling me this. It seems like he's looking out for me, and I'm amazed that he would do that, knowing how much Atticus loved Anya. I thought he would also be upset that his brother was being forced into this marriage with me. You don't have to be so shocked that I want my brother to do the right thing. I'm not an asshole, he assured me with a grin. I know Atticus told me to drop you home, but I have a better idea. He tells me as he reverses out of the parking lot. I'm not sure. We're going to the beach. I have a few friends that are having a party down there. It's good for you to make some new friends now that Anya considers you a traitor. She wasn't that good of a friend to begin with. You're going to love my friends. Just trust me. Trust him? Griffin did seem like someone I could easily trust. Meeting new friends may not be the worst thing in the world. Autumn, are you going to stay in the car the entire time? Griffin asks in a teasing manner. We were at the beach, but I was contemplating getting out of the vehicle with the number of people I saw. I didn't think this was going to be a big party. Now I knew I was wrong. I shook my head and got out even though I truly wanted to stay behind. I'll make sure you aren't uncomfortable, he promised me as he guided me over to a group of girls. I already recognized them. They were popular girls. Of course, Griffin would be friends with the most famous people in our school, just like his siblings. Good to see you, he greets them. I'm sure you all know my future sister-in-law, Autumn, and these girls need no introduction either. No, they didn't. The one smiling at me was Scarlett May, and next to her was her sister Clara. Clara used to be the more popular one among the two sisters. In fact, Scarlett never really attended events like this, from what I knew about her. She reminded me a lot of myself. But all that changed when Carter Prince broke up with her sister Clara. They were the couple that everyone looked up to, but everyone always knew that Carter was never faithful to Clara. I'm not sure how that changed Scarlett, but she soon started attending parties and school games. She was becoming more popular than her sister, especially since Carter seemed to have his eyes on her. That was gross. How could he be interested in Scarlett when he dated her sister? But that was not my business. I've learned to keep away from drama, especially like that. We've barely spoken in the past. I'm sure we can be great friends, Scarlett tells me. That would be great since Autumn can do with some new friends after what happened with Anya, Griffin adds. Scarlett and Clara give each other a knowing look. Of course, everyone was already talking about it by their expressions, but I didn't expect anything different. I knew this would happen when I learned I would marry Atticus. You don't need to feel uncomfortable around us, Clara assured me. How about we don't even bring that up, Scarlett says. Griffin grins. I knew you girls were my safest option to introduce Autumn to. I told you I would make sure you weren't uncomfortable. He reminds me. He was right. Scarlett and her sister seemed nicer than I expected them to be. I'm going to meet a few guys from the team, Griffin tells me as he walks over to the football players. I think this was one of their parties for winning yet another game. Do you want a drink, Autumn? Clara asks me. I shook my head. I don't drink. She smiles. Scarlett doesn't either, but I'm making sure she gets drunk today. Is that the famous bride of Atticus Fawn? Someone asks behind me. Scarlett rolled her eyes as Amy joined us. Why do you show up everywhere we are? I wasn't talking to you, darling. I was talking to the girl that stole her best friend's boyfriend. But you should know plenty about that since you're also stealing your sister's boyfriend. Ex-boyfriend. Scarlett snaps. And I'm not stealing anyone. Neither did Autumn. Get your facts straight before you go speaking nonsense. A little defensive? Amy laughs. You're not wanted here, Amy. Clara hissed. Leave before we make you. Amy flips her hair and walks away. I'm sorry about her. Scarlett apologizes. She's a pain in our ass. It's okay, I assure her. I know this is something I'll have to get used to now that I'm marrying Atticus. Are you sure you don't want that drink now? Clara asks me. I stared at the bottle in her hand. I could use a little stress reliever. Anything to make me forget what my life was turning into. Atticus had left me while we were choosing engagement rings so that he could look after my best friend, his lover, and his mate. Life was only about to get worse. I grabbed the bottle out of Clara's hand and took a big gulp, to her surprise. Scarlett takes it from me next and does the same. I thought I would have had to beg you two more than this. Clara laughs as she watches us take turns. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I can't stop. I would deal with the consequences after. Atticus. When I got home, I noticed that Griffin hadn't gotten home yet. Did he go somewhere else after dropping Autumn home? Did Griffin come home earlier? I asked my sister Clarissa. She was adopted by my parents a few years ago and has been a part of our family since then. We've loved her as our own, and nothing will ever change that. No, she says, looking behind me for something or someone. Did Damon not return with you? I chuckle. Why do I feel like you're disappointed that it's me and not him? She's always been the closest with him, and my brother is also very protective of her. Other than Anya, she was the only other person he's been so protective over. Is he here? She asks with hopeful eyes. I sigh. Sorry, Clarissa, he's with Anya. She got into a minor accident, and he's staying with her. Her smile fades, and she turns to leave in disappointment. Are you sure Griffin didn't return? I asked her before she could disappear. She nods. I think I heard someone say that he was going to a beach party. A beach party? Which beach? Radiant Bay. She answers. I pull my phone out of my pocket and dial his number. He doesn't answer at first, but after trying a second time, he finally does. What's up, bro? He asks. I can hear the loud music blasting in the background. Was he drunk? Did you drop Autumn home? I ask him. There is a slight pause. Oh shoot, was I supposed to drop her home? My body stiffens at his question. Did you not pick her up as I asked you to do? I demand. I did pick her up as you asked. He assured me. I just never dropped her home. So where the f*** is she, Griffin? He laughs, and I fail to see what's so damn amusing. She's with me at the party. He answers me. I sent you a video. Please take a look at it and don't call me again. I'm having fun, and you're ruining it with all your questions. Before I can say anything else, he hangs up. I click on his chat and open the video he sent to me. I'm surprised when I see Autumn dancing on the sand barefoot. Her cheeks are red, and it takes me a while to realize that she's drunk. This motherfucker. Did he get her drunk? As far as I knew, Autumn didn't drink. So then what did they do to her? Griffin wasn't someone to let anyone take advantage of a girl. Maybe I was reading too much into it, but she was clearly drunk. The thought of some asshole trying to touch her sent my blood boiling. My knuckles tightened into fists, and before I knew what I was doing, I was out in my Jeep and racing towards the beach. I had to make sure that she was okay. Griffin could be drunk and not paying attention to her. There was no telling who was at that beach party. I thought I could trust my brother to take her home safely. Instead, he'd taken her to a beach party and gotten her drunk for the first time in her life. When I got there, someone had plenty of explaining to do. Autumn. My head is spinning, but I'm happy. I'm letting myself enjoy the music as I swing my hips along with the beat. Scarlett is next to me, and she's doing the same while Clara laughs and takes videos of us on her phone. I didn't think I would enjoy the company of these girls that I barely knew anything about, especially girls that were popular. They're definitely not like the others. I'm happy Griffin introduced me to them. He was telling the truth all along, and I was delighted I could trust him. The music gets louder, and the only thing that can improve tonight is having Atticus with me. But I knew that wasn't possible. He was probably still looking after Anya. I shook my head and pushed him out of my mind. This wasn't the time to be thinking about my troubles. A hand on my waist causes me to stop dancing. I spun around to see a red-haired guy grinning at me. Can I join in? Was he asking for my permission after putting his hands on me? I narrow my eyes, but before I can push him away, I spot a familiar figure heading our way. I would be able to tell it's him even in darkness. Get your hands off my wife, Atticus shouts. My jaw almost hits the floor. Did he really say that, or was I so intoxicated that I was seeing and hearing things? The boy raises his hand in self-defense and moves away from me. Atticus takes a step towards me, glaring at me as though I'd also pissed him off. It's time to go, Autumn, he tells me. I smiled, thrilled that he was in front of me. I grabbed his shirt and pulled myself closer to him, so there was no space between us. I spun around, so my back was now pressed against his still body. Autumn, he growls in a warning. I'm not listening to him. I'm too busy enjoying this moment. I loved the feeling of having his body heat. No one else ever made me feel like this. He was the only man I've ever had eyes for, and nothing would ever change that. Fuck! Autumn, he groaned. He used his hands on my hips to spin me around so that I was facing him once more. My hair was wet and sticking to my face, but I didn't care, not with the way he was looking at me. Without warning, he lifts my body off the ground and throws me over his shoulder. I giggle and continue to dance on top of him. I waved goodbye to Clara and Scarlett as he began to walk with me. They were gaping at us, and their faces made me giggle even more. I see Griffin as Atticus walks past him, and I shout his name. He watches me, and I think he's holding in a laugh. He says something to Atticus, but he ignores him. Atticus seems to be angry with everyone today. He opened the door to his Jeep and gently placed me on the seat. He leans in to buckle my seatbelt, and I use that opportunity to inhale his divine scent. Atticus freezes against me, and I think he knows what I just did. He ignores it, however, and shuts the door before moving to the driver's side. He's quiet as he starts the vehicle and reverses. I can tell that he's not happy about something. That dulls my mood a little. I didn't want to upset him. "I'm sorry for upsetting you." I pout. He looks at me for a second before returning his gaze to the road. "You did not upset me, Autumn. You never do." I smile. That makes me happy. I tell him before adding quietly, "You make me happy." His hands tighten on the steering wheel, but he pretends not to have heard me, or maybe he doesn't bother replying. It doesn't matter, not after what he's just said. "I'm sorry for earlier. I thought Griffin would have carried you home safely. I didn't think he would take you to a party and get you drunk." "It's not your brother's fault," I mumble. Griffin was only being friendly to me. His jaw clenches. "It is. But it's also mine. Another man touched you, put his hands on you while you were drunk, and there is no telling what else he would have tried if I didn't get there in time." I'm suddenly dizzy with happiness. Hearing the concern in his voice makes my body shiver in a way it's never done before. Before I know it, my hands are on the seatbelt. I need to be closer to him. I don't know where I'm getting the strength from, but I'm not about to stop tonight. I've stopped myself in the past. Tonight was different. "What the hell are you doing?" Atticus asks as I unbuckle my seatbelt. His eyes are on me, but he also has to keep them on the road in between. He repeats my name, but I ignore him as I move over to his side. His eyes are wide as I climb onto his lap while he's still in the middle of driving. His eyes are wide as he holds the steering with one hand and my waist with his other. He's trying to steady me. I'm swaying a bit, but his hand is helping plenty. His grip is firm on me. "I've always wanted to touch your hair," I whisper. "Please, can I touch it?" Atticus swallows slowly and hard, and my eyes are drawn to his throat. His eyes are blazing with heat as he nods. I gently place my hands on his cheeks and slowly drag them upwards until I run them through his soft hair. It felt better than I always imagined it to be. Atticus's breaths are coming faster now that my hands are on him. I can feel him between my legs, and I desperately want to rub my lower half against him. I lean into him and run my nose down the middle of his throat. I take a deep breath when I reach the base. I love the way his body shivers, and I absolutely love listening to his sharp intake of breath. It makes me want to do more and see how his body reacts to it. "Autumn," he whispers, "it's time to return to your side. I can't focus on driving when you're on top of me, and I need to get you home safely. If you keep this up, the last thing you'll be is safe." I hold on to him tighter. I want to stay like this. I don't want to be separated from him. He says my name once more, warning me to stop so that he can continue to drive without any interruptions. I'm about to protest when he grabs my waist and lifts my body off him. I'm not sure how he manages to place me back on my seat while simultaneously driving without causing an accident, but he does. I'm tingling all over from getting to be so close to him and finally getting the chance to touch him. At least a part of him. There was plenty more I wanted to put my hands on, but even in my drunken state, I knew not to do it. He stops in front of my house and pulls out his phone. I'm not sure who he's talking to, but he's asking questions about my parents. Is he worried about dropping me home drunk? That was a terrible idea. My parents would flip if they saw me like this. "Please take me home with you," I beg. They will freak out. I know that they will. His eyes are worried when he turns to look at me. He runs a hand through his hair and leans his head against the seat. He closes his eyes, and I wonder what he's thinking. "Don't let my parents see me like this." I try once more. He sighs and dials another number. "Hey." He greets the person. "Autumn will be staying with me tonight. I'll drop her home tomorrow." Atticus. I don't know what the hell I was thinking about agreeing to let Autumn stay the night with me. Every second with her felt like a ticking bomb, ready to explode. She was unpredictable when she was drunk. She said and did things that shocked me to the very core, and her scent was all over my Jeep. I could smell her everywhere. Her scent should not be this strong, and now it would be stuck with me for a while. Her brother didn't sound happy that she was staying with me tonight, and I didn't blame him. Even I didn't trust myself around her. Not when she asked me things like permission to touch my hair, and not when she leans into me and smells me like I'm her next meal. Drunk Autumn was dangerous. I'm happy that this is her first time. At least, I think that it is. I didn't want any other man to experience what she was like when she was drunk. Atticus. She whispers my name, and I pretend not to hear her. I do that because I'm actually terrified of myself right now. Terrified of what I would do if I looked into her eyes and she asked me for something else. I didn't know if I would be strong enough to deny her. I breathe a sigh of relief when I finally spot my house. Just a little bit again, and I would be able to place her in the guest room. Then her compelling voice and scent wouldn't affect me anymore. I would be able to act rationally again. As I drive into the garage, I jump out of the Jeep and walk over to her side. She looks drowsy, and it may not be long before she falls asleep. The moment I open her door, her eyes open wide and she smiles at me. Her smile is dazzling, and I wonder how I've never been lost in it before. "Let's get you inside," I say as I inwardly scold myself for noticing things I shouldn't. "Okay," she shouts as she wraps her arms around my neck and pushes her body against mine. I grip her waist to steady her, and she uses that opportunity to wrap her legs around my waist. I wasn't planning on holding her this way. She was too close like this. Way too close for my sanity. "Autumn," I growl as I try to put distance between us. She clamps her legs tighter around me, and I stop moving altogether. If she kept rubbing against me, she might awaken something that I didn't want to deal with right now. How am I supposed to walk into the house with her wrapped around me like this? I had to hope that everyone else was already asleep. I sigh and move with her still in my arms. Autumn snuggles against me, and I try to ignore how perfectly she fits in my arms. I'm relieved when I don't see anyone as I make my way through the house. When I turn the corner towards the guest room, I pause. My dad is right there and he's on his phone. Damn it. I spun around before he could see me and raced towards my room. I know it wasn't the best idea, but I could keep her there until I was sure everyone was asleep. I open the door and walk inside. Autumn giggles as I close the door and lock it behind us. I grab her thighs and use more force to untangle her from my body. She whimpered, and the sweet sound caught me off guard. It was so unexpected that I was unprepared for when she grabbed my shirt and pulled so hard that I fell with her onto the bed. Autumn gasps beneath me. I push my hand on the bed to prevent us from kissing, but I don't do it fast enough. My lips are on hers before I can stop it from happening, and the contact sends a shockwave throughout my body. I attempt to move, but she surprises me by moaning. The sound makes something stir in my pants. I swallow as she pulls my bottom lip into her mouth and sucks on it like it's candy. I grab 2 pillows above us. It's my attempt to keep myself from touching her. My nails dig into them as I let her kiss me. She doesn't kiss like an amateur. It makes me wonder if she's ever done it before and with who. That thought angers me. I knew I had to stop this before things got more heated between us. She was drunk and wasn't aware of what she was doing. I would hate for her to remember tonight and hate herself for it. Autumn moans again, and I freeze when she grinds her lower body against mine. I groan and can't resist taking one bite of her lip. Just one taste. That's all I'm letting myself have tonight. I bite down gently on her bottom lip before pulling it into my mouth. Autumn lifts her body off the bed as I finally kiss her back. Why is her taste so damn addictive? Everything about her sent warning bells straight to my head. A low growl leaves my throat as I rip my body away from hers. She pouts, and I mutter a few silent curses because all I can think about is how good she looks lying there in the middle of my bed. There is no way I can keep her in here with me for an entire night. I couldn't trust myself alone in a room with her. If she asked me to touch my hair again, I would lose it. I could barely keep my cool in the Jeep with her on top of me. And I almost lost it when she kissed me. I was not risking it anymore. I pick her up into my arms again. It would be the last time for tonight. I knew where I was heading. I keep walking until I reach my destination. I knock on the door in front of me. "Clarissa!" I shout when she doesn't come fast enough. The door flies open, and my sister's eyes widen when she sees Autumn in my arms. "What happened to her?" she demands as she helps me place her onto her bed. Thankfully, Autumn is halfway asleep by now and isn't trying to hold on to me anymore. "She got drunk at a party. She isn't like herself at all. I think it's more appropriate for her to sleep in your room than mine," I explain. "Oh," she whispers as she studies me. "What happened to your lips? And your face and neck? It's red." My body goes still at her question. I quickly play it off and tell her that I need sleep. She doesn't ask any other questions as I storm off. I breathed a sigh of relief as I got back to my room. I soon realized, however, that it wasn't about to be an easy night. I can still smell her everywhere. What is it about her? Why does she affect me so much? Autumn. The first thing I noticed when I woke up was that I was not in my bed. My eyes were still closed, but I still knew this wasn't mine. So where was I? I try searching my mind for answers, too scared to open my eyes and freak out more than I already was. One by one, the events of last night replay in my head. With each new memory, I felt like I was going to die. My eyes open, and I rise so quickly that I fall straight out of bed. What the hell did I do last night? I got drunk. I danced on Atticus and caused him to carry me to his Jeep. Then I asked him to touch his hair while he was in the middle of driving. In the middle of freaking driving. I ran a hand through my hair as I tried to remember more. What the hell was wrong with me? I let out a screech of frustration as the rest of the memories hit me. I kissed him. I kissed Atticus. I must be out of my damn mind. I've never been so reckless in my life before, and the one time that I did, it just so happened to be with him. I don't think I've ever been so embarrassed in my entire life. I hear the bathroom door opening, and I quickly jump back into the bed to pretend I was asleep. I was too embarrassed to see anyone right now. I wasn't sure when I'll ever get the confidence to leave this room. I hear footsteps and the sound of a drawer opening. I peeked through one eye and was surprised when I saw Clarissa in a top and underwear on. I was about to close my eyes again when I noticed something on her body. My eyes widened when I realized what it was. Was that Damon's name tattooed on her butt? I quickly closed my eyes again while my heart raced against my chest. Why did she have her brother's name there? She might have known someone else with his name, but at the same time, there was a massive possibility that it could also be him. Clarissa was not their biological sister. She was adopted, which meant that she could have a crush on Damon to the point that she did something like that. But I knew how public our lives were, and that would make things difficult for the Fawns. I could imagine the headlines that would follow if anyone saw that tattoo. Maybe I'm wrong. It's possible I saw something that wasn't even there. She was a little distance from me when I saw it. It would be better for us if I pretended like I hadn't seen anything. I open my eyes again when she leaves the room. I place a hand over my chest. I touched Atticus last night. Our bodies were pressed together more than once. I felt for the first time in my life what I've always dreamed of experiencing with him. And it was amazing. Even though I was intoxicated, I still remember how good it felt to touch him, to be on top of him, to feel his body heat and to rub my hands through his soft hair, not to mention kiss him. And he'd let me do it. He let me kiss him last night. Why would he? Why didn't he push me away right away? My cheeks turn red when the door opens after a knock, and this time Atticus steps inside the room. He didn't look as embarrassed as I felt. It had me wondering if I had imagined everything that had happened between us last night. How could he be this unaffected? "How are you feeling?" he asks me as he walks closer to the edge of the bed. How did I feel? I felt like burying my face beneath the sheets and hiding there for the rest of my life. "I'm okay." I lie. "I hope I didn't cause too much trouble for you last night." His eyes search mine. He may be trying to figure out if I remembered what I'd done. Couldn't my nervousness give him the answer he was looking for? "Do you remember what you did?" he asks. I immediately shook my head. Everything feels like a distant blur. I lie. "Okay," he says, believing me, or at least pretending that he did. He probably realizes that both of us should pretend like yesterday didn't happen. Clarissa walks back in, then says, "Oh, you're finally awake. I can lend you some clothes if you want to shower." "I think I should just get home," I tell her. "My parents are probably freaking out." Clarissa gives Atticus a look, and I wonder what else happened while I was asleep. "What's wrong?" I ask, looking between them. "You might want to look at your phone," Clarissa tells me. "You and Atticus are all over the headlines again." Autumn. Clarissa's words have shocked me to the very core. I knew exactly what had happened last night, and the last thing I wanted to see was those events plastered on the covers of magazines. I take another look at Atticus and realize that I was wrong earlier. He looked tired and like he's been on the phone the entire morning. My hands are shaking as I reach for my own phone. I'm scared to see the headlines. Terrified. I knew how brutal they could be, and I knew how quickly news spread. Our wedding was still the talk of the town. Now this incident would be an added bonus for all the gossipers. The first thing I noticed when the phone lit up was the many missed calls from my parents. I swallow. They already saw everything. There was no use trying to hide it from them anymore. I was so screwed. My parents were going to kill me. I keep scrolling and I don't have to look far. There are multiple videos posted from yesterday at the beach. It starts with me drinking and getting drunk. Then it shows Atticus walking towards me. "Get your hands off my wife." My body shivers at those words. I couldn't remember him saying this earlier. Now that I've seen the video, the memory is back and stronger than ever. He'd called me his wife. I never thought he would ever openly shout it for others to hear. I slowly look up at Atticus, and he's staring at me. He knows what I just saw. He would have heard it also. He's searching my face, trying to read me. Can he tell how much I loved that he called me his wife, even though we aren't married yet? My cheeks turn red when I see myself dancing on him. I wasn't even aware that I could dance like that. Judging by his face in the video, Atticus also didn't expect that from me. Damon and Dante walked in suddenly, and they looked pissed. Atticus breaks eye contact with me to look at them. "What the hell are you doing, Atticus?" Damon demands. "You're supposed to be making things easier for Anya. She's been screaming and throwing up the whole morning after seeing all the videos that have been posted. Didn't you once think about her and how she would feel?" I notice the way Clarissa's happy smile dies down when Damon mentions Anya. Anya, I didn't even think about her. Atticus always protected her. It must be difficult for her to see him protecting me now. He looks troubled now that his brothers have spoken about Anya. I knew that the last thing he ever wanted to do was hurt her. "Where is she now?" he asks Damon. "She's outside in my car. I'm carrying her to watch a movie to help clear her mind." Damon answers him. "What?" Clarissa demands. "You promised you would take me to the movies today." Damon stiffens at her words. It is clear that he doesn't like to upset her. "I'm sorry, Clarissa," he apologizes. "I promised to make it up to you." She folds her arms stubbornly and storms out of the room. I watch as Damon runs after her almost immediately. "I'm going to see her," Atticus tells Dante. My hands tighten into fists as I watch him leave. I know that she needs him, but it's still hard watching him take care of her. I don't ask to come with him like before. I already knew what his response would be like. I'm left alone with no one to talk to. I'm not sure what to do now. I had to face my parents eventually. I sigh and walk out of the room. I didn't want to ask Atticus to drop me home. I was still embarrassed about everything. Calling my parents didn't seem like a good idea either. "Autumn Rivera!" I freeze. I would know that voice from anywhere, my father. I didn't have to call them. They're already here. I looked for a way to escape, but then remembered that running away wasn't an option for me. My father's voice is louder now, and I follow the sound, walking straight into the trap. When I see him, I also spot my mother, along with my brother and Atticus's parents. Why was I facing them alone? The answer was simple. I was the reason all of this happened in the first place. "Since when do you drink alcohol?" My mother asks me. "Since when do you embarrass your family in front of so many people?" "I'm sorry, Mother. I apologize." I'm not sure what came over me. Once I started, I couldn't stop. I wasn't aware of what I was doing afterward. I wasn't even aware that so many cameras were on me. I should have known it would have been. Ever since word had traveled of my wedding, I had all the attention on me. This kind of behavior is unacceptable. My father shouts, "When the Fawns agreed to make you their daughter-in-law, they thought they were making the right decision. You're no longer only representing our family, but that of the Fawns as well. Can you not see that? Do we need to teach you everything?" Mistakes happen. Atticus's mother steps in. As long as it doesn't happen again, we should be fine. Besides, last night may have shut up the rumors claiming that my son doesn't love his bride-to-be. He showed a side I never expected to see. It will not happen again, my father assured her, especially since Autumn will not be going anywhere before the engagement. I knew this was coming. I wasn't surprised that they would punish me for my actions. "Now, that is not fair at all," Griffin says as he walks in. "I'm the reason all of this happened. I should get punished, not her." "How are you to blame?" his father demands. "Atticus asked me to drop her home. Instead of taking her home, I carried her to a beach party. I introduced her to new friends. I should have kept an eye on her since she isn't used to such events. I'm at fault. Punish me instead." I'm surprised that Griffin was taking the blame for me. Autumn is not a child. She knows right from wrong. My mother tells him. "I think you can join her punishment," his father adds. "You and that other son of mine. Where is Atticus? He was supposed to carry Autumn for the ring and return her home, not send her with you." I stiffen at the mention of Atticus. I know his parents would freak out if they knew he was with Anya. They were already angry. I didn't want to see them get angrier. "Atticus! Anya!" I shout as she hits her fists against my face. "I hate you!" she screams. "How could you do this to me?" "You and that fake friend of mine," she shouts. "She's no better than you are." I'm somehow annoyed that she's mentioned Autumn. She is not at fault. No one is to blame but our parents. Autumn is not to blame for anything. I correct her. "I know this is hard, but you two have loved each other for years. You shouldn't hate her for something out of her control." She laughs. "Are you trying to tell me how to feel now? Are you telling me that you would have handled it better if you had to see me marry your best friend? Would you have been able to remain friends with that person?" My jaw clenches. "What do you think I've gone through these past years seeing you with not one but two of my brothers? Did I disown them? I know what it feels like, Anya. Believe me, I do. I'm not happy I have to hurt you, but eventually, something like this was bound to happen. You couldn't have had all three of us for the rest of your life." Her lower lip trembles. "Funny that you should say that. If you hadn't chosen to marry Autumn, I would have chosen you. But now, we will never get a chance to see what our lives would have been like. That is unless you cancel the wedding and run away with me." I'm taken aback by her words. She confessed that I would have been her choice in the end. Why would she choose to tell me now? Why now when I was in the middle of wedding preparations? It was too late for any of that. "I'm going to pretend you didn't just ask me to run away with you and leave everyone behind, including my brothers, who love you more than anything else in this world. I'll also keep this conversation from them. You've lost me. I don't want you to lose anyone else because of your anger." "I've lost you?" she asks with a broken look on her face. "I guess we can finally agree on something. I hope you don't live to regret this decision, Atticus. Once I turn my back, you'll never hear from me again. I was already regretting everything just by seeing her this hurt, but I'd made my decision already. It was too late to turn back now. Too many people were involved, and Autumn, I couldn't hurt her too. Her innocence was pure, and her joy brightened up a room. I didn't have the heart to leave her when I promised to marry her. I couldn't walk out on her. She didn't deserve that. Anya didn't deserve any of this either." I reach to give her one last hug, but she pulls away from me. "Tell Damon I'm ready to leave. I don't want to be next to you anymore." I turn to find my brother, but he's already heading toward us. He's not alone. Clarissa is also with him. He looks nervous as he joins us. Clarissa will be joining us for the movie. Anya glared at my sister. "Are you kidding me? Does everyone want to ruin my life today?" "Aren't you a little too dramatic?" Clarissa demands. "It's just for today, sweetheart." Damon apologizes to her. "I promise to make it up to you another time." Clarissa hugs me and says goodbye. I could sense the tension in the air as they got into the car. I watch Anya leave with my heart in her hands. I knew that I was acting cold towards her, but I was doing it for her own good. I had to make her hate the thought of being with me. I had to. For any of this to work, I had to keep pushing Anya away. Autumn. The engagement party was here. It all still felt like a dream to me. I thought by now I would wake up and Atticus would tell me that he wasn't going to marry me. So far, none of that had happened. I was still at home. I couldn't find the strength to move my feet. I'd been standing in front of the mirror for more than an hour. My mother kept reminding me that we were late, but I could barely hear her through the pounding of my heart. I was getting engaged to the man I wanted since I knew what it meant to love someone. I was 14 when I first saw him, and now I am 19 and sincerely in love with him. Atticus Fawn had my heart without even trying. He had my heart because of the person I knew him to be. It wasn't just his looks that caught my heart. That was just a given bonus. "Autumn," my mother shouts, "someone is here to see you." The door opens before I can ask who it is. I slowly turn and am shocked to see who is at the door. "Anya," I whisper. She was the last person I was expecting to see today, at least not in my home. If anything, I expected to see her at the engagement party. She's ignored all of my calls and explanations before today, so then why was she suddenly here on my engagement night? What does she have to say to me? I knew that she's tried to contact Atticus multiple times since I'd been locked up at home. I knew this because everyone has been sending it to me. People were sending me videos and pictures. They all claimed that Atticus was cheating on me with her. This was something else I knew I would have to get used to. It didn't mean that I believed any of it, however. I knew Atticus. If he agreed to marry me, he will honor his words. He will not do anything to intentionally hurt me. Anya was angry, very angry. I could see it so clearly on her face. She wasn't trying to hide it from me, but Anya was never someone to hide her feelings. Her black hair hung over her shoulders, and she looked as beautiful as ever. She was dressed for a party, which meant that she would also be there tonight. Her jaw clenched when I said her name once more. Were we going to stand here and stare at each other for the entire night? I remain calm as I watch her take her first steps toward me. Her eyes are filled with hatred as she stands right before me. There is very little space between us now, and I'm waiting for her to say something. I don't have time to prepare as she slaps me hard across the face. My body is in shock. It takes me a moment to recover from what she'd just done. I covered my burning cheek with my hand. I couldn't believe she'd just hit me. We've been friends for many years, and neither has ever laid a hand on the other until today. "How could you?" she shouts. "How could you take Atticus away from me? You know that he's my mate. You know how much I love him. Marrying him is all I ever talk about, yet here you are taking my place. I thought you were my friend, Autumn. I thought I knew you better than this." My hands tighten into fists. I know that she's hurting. It's the only reason I'm not retaliating. I know this is something she had to get out of her chest one way or the other. I don't think she realizes I couldn't stop this wedding even if I wanted to. The only way I could stop it was by running away, and it's not something that I was willing to do. Running away was not an option. It's not like I didn't give Atticus the chance to stop it. That was the only other option for the wedding to stop, by him refusing to let it happen, and he wasn't doing that. Not even for Anya. I still didn't know the reason behind it. "I tried contacting you all this time," I tell her. "I've never wanted to hurt you. Our parents are the ones behind this wedding. I've loved you like a sister. I would never intentionally do anything to hurt you. And no one knows better than me that Atticus was hurting the more he had to see you with his brothers. If you love him, don't you think you should try letting him go?" She laughs and claps loudly. The sounds echo throughout the room. "How long have you been practicing that speech? Don't you think I would have noticed how infatuated you've always been with Atticus? You don't think I know you're happy you're finally getting the chance to be with him?" My eyes widen. "Anya." She lifts her hand in the air to stop me. "There is no use trying to deny it. You've wanted him all along. You couldn't stand that he's always wanted me. Well, I have news for you. No matter what he says or does, Atticus will always love me. Nothing will ever change that. When he sleeps with you at night, I'm the one he will be thinking about. Nothing you do for him will ever be good enough for him. I hope you remember my warning. This is not a marriage. You will become each other's nightmare. You wait and see. I open my mouth to say something, but nothing comes out. Her words have managed to hurt me. She was right. I did want Atticus, but it wasn't lusting. It was love. I've loved him all these years. His happiness meant more to me than anything else. I was willing to watch him be with her because I knew all along that's what made him happy. At least, that's what I thought until recently. Eventually, I saw that she was hurting him constantly. It didn't mean he would be happy with me either, but I wouldn't choose anyone else over him. He will always be my first and only choice. That was the difference between the two of us. And one last thing, she says before turning to leave. You look hideous. There is no way that Atticus will like how you look tonight. I couldn't believe she would stoop to that level to mess up my engagement night. I knew she was hurting, but did she have to bring me down as well? And why did she wait for tonight? Why my engagement night? Autumn, what happened to your face? My mother asks as I step out of the car. She was too occupied earlier to realize how red it was. Just my luck that she chose to pay attention to me now. Anya slapped me, I answer her. There was no use trying to hide it from her. My mother could always easily tell when I was lying. She gasps, I never liked that girl. Why would she hit you on your engagement night? If I'd known she would be so bitter, I would have never let her into our home. I don't know, Mother. Maybe it's because I'm marrying her mate. I point out, answering her question with the most obvious response. My mother sighs. That gives her no right to hit you. Why don't you stand up for yourself more? You've always let that girl walk all over you. We grew you up to avoid confrontations and arguments, but that girl was never your real friend to begin with. That's not true. I try to defend her. I know she just hit me, and what she did was wrong, but I still understood why she did it. I didn't want to completely kick her out of my life because of one incident. It isn't, she asks. So then, why did you cry whenever you returned home from spending time with her? I look away from my mother's penetrating gaze. I cried because I had no choice but to see Atticus with her. Being her best friend left me no other option. I cried because I hated how much she hurt him. I cried because she always tried to put me down and tell me I wasn't as pretty or popular as she was. Your silence proves my point. She says as she takes my arm in hers, It's too late to put anything on your face now. We will have to fix you up inside. I didn't know what I expected to see when I stepped inside, but nothing could prepare me for the hundreds of guests looking straight at me. I knew the wedding would be a big one. I didn't think the engagement would also be this massive. I recognized a few faces, and it was safe to say that half of our school was present. I was glad my mother was holding my hand as she guided me through the back, where no one else was. She pulled me into a room. It wasn't any random room. This must be where everyone got their makeup and hair done. My lips part when I see Atticus already dressed in his black tux. I try not to let his presence affect me, but just as always, I fail big time. As long as we are in a room together, there is no avoiding this man. He turns when he hears the door close behind us, and I lose my breath when his gaze locks with mine. He takes his slow time examining me from head to toe. Does he not see my mother in the room with us? I don't think he cares at this point. I squeeze my hands tightly into fists as I try to fight the nervousness. It's hard for me to focus when he's looking at me like that. Your dad is looking for us. My mother says to me, breaking the silence, I'll go find him. See what you can do about the redness in the meantime. I'm not sure whether my father was really looking for us or my mother was using that as an excuse to leave us in a room alone. Atticus takes a step toward me when she closes the door behind her, and I stop freaking breathing. He doesn't stop until he's a few inches away from my body. His eyes are locked on my face, and I have to wonder if he can see the mark that Anya left. If my mother could, he undoubtedly could as well. He lightly tilts my chin to get a better look at my cheek. There is a cute frown on his face as he studies it. What happened? That confirms it. I'm surprised that he sounds concerned, however. Darkness clouds his features, and I know that he's getting angrier by the second. It's nothing. I lie to him. I know that telling him Anya hit me would not make things easier on any of us. She was hurting. I was trying to be understanding. I might react similarly to her if I was in her position. We've been inseparable for years, and it's the first time we've ever fought like this. Maybe my friendship meant nothing to Anya, but she will always have a place in my heart. I didn't get rid of the people I loved that easily. She would have to totally betray me for that to happen. Are you sure? He asks. It almost looks like someone hit you. That's because someone did hit me, your mate. I wonder if Atticus would still take her side in a situation like this. Knowing how much he loved her was enough of an answer for me. I need to put some makeup over it, and I'll join you. It really is nothing for you to worry about. He doesn't seem to be convinced, but something else holds his attention next. Where did you find that necklace? He asks, his eyes locked on my neck. I lightly touch the diamond necklace. It was a gift from his grandmother. He must have recognized it. I didn't want to accept it, but she insisted. She was one of the kindest women I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. I wish she were still with us today. Your grandmother gave it to me the week before she died. She told me to wear it on my engagement night as well as on my wedding day. I confess. A look of surprise and anguish crossed his handsome features. I know that speaking about her would also be hard for him. I never knew you were that close to her, he admits. That necklace was her favorite piece of jewelry. I've always asked about it, but my grandfather never told me you were the person she'd given it to. He leans closer and lightly brushes it with his fingers. My heart rate accelerates from his closeness. I'm drawn to the way his forehead creases as he continues to take a closer look. Even his eyelashes were perfect. I still couldn't get over how beautiful he was. I was waiting for the right moment to give this to you, I whisper as I pull the ring I'd bought for him out of my purse. I know you said you would get it yourself, but I wanted to get it for you. Atticus takes the jewelry box from my hand and opens it. He stares at it for a few seconds, and I'm worried he doesn't like it. I was sure that he would. Was I wrong? He lifts his gaze towards me. How did you know I love red diamonds? I bite my lip as I try to come up with a response. I knew because I'd been so in love with him that I paid attention to anything concerning him. I learned more about what he loved than even Anya did. Anya mentioned it once. I lie. His face turns grim at the mention of her. I shouldn't have brought her up on a day like this. I know this is probably the last thing you want to hear from me, but Anya asked to speak with me before the ceremony starts. I wanted to make sure that you at least know this before I see her. Of course, she will want to speak with him today. I wouldn't expect anything else from her after what she did. I should be happy that he at least told me before seeing her, but I'm anything but that. I'm worried, scared of what she had planned. If she'd hit me earlier, there is no telling what she would do when she saw Atticus. As soon as I'm finished speaking with her, I will join you, and the ceremony can start. He assures me. I try to hide the fear from my eyes. In order to do that, I had to look away from his piercing gaze. I will not take long, he promises as he walks out of the room. I lean against the door as soon as he leaves. All I could do now was hope that Anya wouldn't try anything else to ruin my engagement night. Atticus. I stare at the ring on my finger. Autumn surprised me. I didn't think she would go through all that trouble to get me a ring, especially after I left her at the jewelry store to run to Anya's side. She kept on surprising me in ways that greatly pleased me. I didn't think she was telling the truth about Anya, however. There were many times when Anya couldn't even remember my favorite color. How would she have told Autumn about red diamonds? But why would she lie to me about something so simple? Why couldn't she tell me how she knew what my favorite diamond was? I would faster believe that my grandmother told her than Anya. And why the was her cheek so red? She didn't want to tell me the truth, but it seemed to me like someone had hurt her. My hands tightened into fists at the thought of anyone hitting her. I couldn't get it out of my damn mind. Why was she keeping it a secret from me? I knew that we weren't that close, but we would soon be husband and wife. She should be more comfortable around me. She should trust me enough to confide in me. She may think that this was over, but it wasn't. I would continue to ask around until I found out the truth. Someone must know what had happened. Could it be that someone was threatening her? Get Atticus. Why was I getting so worked up over this? I pushed those thoughts out of my head. I had other problems to deal with right away. I wasn't sure that speaking to Anya right before the engagement was a good idea. Too many things could go wrong if anyone saw us next to each other and tried spreading more rumors about us. I knew how quickly rumors spread about my family. I spot Anya a little distance away, and she quickly runs to my side. This needs to be quick, Anya. I can't be seen around you, especially not on an important night such as this, I explain. Is it so bad to be seen with me? She demands. You were always proud in the past to show me off to the entire school. What has changed that, Atticus? My jaw clenches. I'm getting engaged to Autumn today. Engaged. Just think what would happen if anyone saw us like this. She lightly touches my chest. Would it really be so bad if anyone saw us like this? I grab her hand to push her away, but she holds onto me tighter. I love you, Atticus. I love you so much. I froze. Hearing her tell me that she loved me after so long managed to wreak havoc within me. I've fought my feelings for her as hard as possible, but this made it 1,000 times more challenging to do so. She leans into me and places a light kiss on my cheek. She tries to reach my lips, but I get the strength to push her away. Don't, I warn her. I run a hand down my face as I try to process what the hell had just happened. I turn and walk away before things could get any worse. I almost gave in to her. I almost did something I would never be able to forgive myself for. I run a hand through my hair. How much messier could this entire thing get between us? I tried to make Anya hate me and hold on to my brothers instead, but it wasn't working. She was still trying to get me back. I knew her pain. I felt it. I understood why she acted like this. I could never blame her, but I knew I couldn't keep running to her side whenever she needed me. Autumn was understanding now because she knew of our past, but that didn't mean it wouldn't affect her eventually. I'm sure she sees all the articles about Anya and me. There were hundreds of pictures of us as well. Autumn didn't love me as Anya did, but she was still a woman with real feelings. I had to be careful not to hurt her. I turned the corner and rushed through the crowd. Autumn was already at the center of the stage with our parents. They were no doubt waiting on me. I felt a wave of guilt wash over me as I joined them. Autumn turns rigid when I take my place next to her. Does she somehow know that Anya tried to kiss me? Finally, my son has chosen to bless us with his presence. My father says loud enough for everyone in the crowd to hear. A few low chuckles follow. I clench my jaw as I spot Anya at the center of the crowd. I didn't want to look at her while getting engaged to her best friend. I know why she came tonight, but part of me wishes she hadn't. This can't be easy for her to see. I know the pain. I've had that same pain for years. I steal a glance at Autumn, and she still seems very uncomfortable around me. Should I not have told her that I was going to see Anya? Maybe it wasn't my best decision. I've found myself worrying about her more than I'm okay with admitting. It also feels like she's avoiding eye contact with me. It bothers me more than it should. The ceremony begins, and it soon dawns on me that after today, things will change forever. It isn't our wedding day, but it's a step towards it. There wouldn't be much time after this to change my mind. This was my decision, and I always stuck to them. I would not back out now, no matter what I felt inside. I knew this wasn't going to be an easy journey, but I also knew that this was the right choice. If my grandmother wanted this, she would have had her reasons. I trusted her. The fact that she gave Autumn her favorite necklace was enough proof that this was what she wanted. My father announces that we're officially engaged suddenly and lifts both of our hands into the air to show off our rings. I was hardly aware of what was happening around me. The reality of the situation was finally sinking in. However, instead of a round of applause, there are loud gasps throughout the room. I looked around me. I wasn't sure what was happening. My father looks at me. We're all looking at each other. We know that something terrible must have happened. The entire crowd wouldn't react this way for something small. "What the f***, Atticus?" Griffin says as he joins our side. "You've done it this time." I give him a perplexed look. "What are you talking about?" "This," he grits out as he shoves the phone into my face. I take one look, and all the blood drains from my face. It's a video of Anya and me from today. When she kissed my cheek and told me she loved me, it cut right as she tried to kiss me. It didn't show when I stopped the kiss, leaving everyone to believe that we did, in fact, kiss. This was the last thing I needed right now. How the f did I get out of this one? Autumn. I couldn't believe my eyes. The video was on replay in front of me. This was no doubt from today. Anya and Atticus are dressed in the same clothes that can clearly be seen in the video. Plus, Atticus did tell me that he was going to see Anya before the ceremony started, and he also showed up late, not to mention the scent of her on his body. I got a horrible whiff of it the moment he joined us. I knew she had to be closer to him than I would have liked. It's the reason why I'd been avoiding eye contact with him since he joined us. I couldn't look him in the eye. I was scared of what I would see. If he'd been that close with Anya, there is no telling what happened between them. My heart hurts from just the thought of what happened after the camera had cut. The video had cut right before she tried to kiss him, and I wondered if he'd let her. I knew Atticus would never cheat on me once we were engaged, but the truth remained that he wasn't officially committed to me when this video was taken. Did he take one last kiss to remember what it felt like before he destroyed his life by marrying me? I feel my body sway at the thought of him kissing her on our engagement night. First, Anya slaps me, and now this. How could things get any worse than this? My biggest fear of tonight was coming to life. I was right. Anya was out to destroy my engagement night. I held my head as the whispers got louder. The crowd wanted to know more. I couldn't hold on much longer. My legs were failing me. Atticus rushes forward and picks me up into his arms before I can hit the ground. I'm not aware of what happened after he walked me out of the room. I'm still in shock from the video. Everyone would have plenty to say. I'm sure half of our school was laughing at me, and the other half feeling sorry for me. Atticus slams his room door shut as he lays me down on his bed. I watched as he paced up and down in front of me. It looks like he was having an inner battle with himself. "I'm sorry, Autumn," he says suddenly. "This should have never happened, especially not on our engagement night." I don't know what to say to that. I'm hurting, but I don't want him to know, though almost fainting in front of everyone didn't exactly help my case. There's just one question on my mind. Did he kiss her? Did he kiss my best friend on our engagement night? Was she even my best friend anymore? It was clear that Anya didn't consider me anymore. What she did on my engagement day proves how much she dislikes me now. She was determined to make today a disaster for me, and she succeeded. Atticus takes a few steps toward me. Soon enough, he's standing right before me. He looks bothered now that I'm not speaking to him. It's not intentional. I'm too stunned to speak. "Please say something. I don't know who took that video, but I will find and make him pay." The person that took the video was not the problem. I can't stop myself as I ask, "Did you kiss her?" I can barely recognize my voice. I couldn't hide the pain, not this time. Not after knowing what it was like to be in his arms, not after knowing what his kisses felt like. The thought of him kissing her destroyed me. His eyes searched mine. I could hear the clock ticking on his nightstand and the pounding of my own heart now in sync. I'm not prepared for his response. If he said yes, that would change everything. It would change how I see him. He wouldn't be the man I've loved all these years. The Atticus that I knew would never do that. He was too loyal and consumed with pleasing his family to do something so scandalous on such an important night. He slowly shook his head. I did not kiss her. The camera conveniently cut right as I pushed away from her. Whoever took that video had intentions of ruining our engagement night. I breathe a sigh of relief. I'm not happy that he was so close to her, but I'm relieved to know he didn't kiss her, and he didn't let her kiss him either. "I feel like you don't believe me," he says, and I hate how much the softness in his voice makes my already stupid heart melt. Everything about him screamed danger. "I do not have any reason not to trust you, Atticus. If you said you didn't kiss her, I believe you. But if there is the slightest possibility that you've lied to me, my trust in you will immediately be broken. But I do not believe that you are lying. I know of your character. I know that you're good. You will never do something like that, not on our engagement night." He looks surprised at my faith in him. We are both quiet as he continues to stare at me in amazement. He slowly raises his hand, and it looks like he's about to cut my cheek, but I never got to find out. The door opens, and our parents walk in. His father looks just as upset as his mother as they glare at us. "What the hell were you thinking, Atticus?" his father demands. "I told you to stop seeing that girl. She will continue to cause problems for our family. You continue to disobey me, and then I am left having to clean up your mess." "No one was supposed to take a video," he explains. "She asked to see me one last time before I got engaged. After everything, I owed her that much." His father laughs. "Do you think that girl wasn't aware of what she was doing? I'm sure that she was the one that got someone to film the entire thing. And of course, you just had to fall straight into her trap, because she knows she has you trapped. That's impossible. Anya was not like that. She would not stoop that low to get what she wanted. But what if she did? She was out to destroy the wedding. It's possible that she was also responsible for that video." "Did you ever stop and once think about Autumn before you made such a foolish decision?" his mother asks. "You've not only made things difficult for us, but you've also made them hard on her. Do you think it will be easy for her when this news gets out?" "I know what I did was wrong," he assures them, "but Anya will not stoop so low." "Really?" my mother asks. I stiffened. I hoped she wouldn't say anything I didn't want her to say. "Then why did she visit Autumn today, and instead of being there for her, she slapped her hard across her face?" A look of surprise crosses Atticus's face at her words. "Mother!" I hiss. I didn't want Atticus ever to know this. I didn't want him to be disappointed or angry with her when she was hurting. Atticus turns to me. I can see the look of horror and disbelief on his face. "Anya slapped you?" I can't find my voice. I don't want to answer him. "Autumn," he growls as he moves closer to me. "Tell me, did Anya really hit you today? Was that how you got that red mark on your face?" I bite my lip. I don't want to say yes, but I can't say no either. He's staring at me, and eventually, I give in with a slight nod. "Atticus, wait!" I call after him as he storms out of the room. Oh no, what was he going to do? "Atticus!" I've never been this angry with Anya before. I've never known her to be like this. She's had her stubbornness in the past, but I always thought she was better than this. Why would she hit Autumn? How was Autumn to blame for any of this? And to do this on her engagement night of all nights was something I would never expect from her. I knew that she was having a hard time coming to terms with this marriage, but that didn't give her the right to mistreat Autumn, who has been nothing but good to her. Everything felt like it was changing all too quickly. Things shouldn't be like this between Autumn and Anya. I walk out into the ballroom and search the crowds like a hawk. She had some serious explaining to do. I wouldn't rest until I found her and heard what she had to say. When I do spot her, she's surrounded by my brothers. I knew that I had to choose my words wisely around them. Whether Anya was wrong or not, my brothers always took her side. I was the same way in the past, but this time I couldn't defend her. She was wrong for what she'd done. I pushed through the crowd, ignoring the girls screaming my name to try and get my attention. I'd gotten accustomed to all the attention by now. Half of the girls here didn't come to see me get engaged. They came specifically to see me. Anya's eyes are wide when she sees me coming her way. Damon tensed when he spotted me. He can sense the anger, no doubt. His first instinct would be to protect Anya. I remember when that used to be my first instinct as well. It feels weird approaching her for something other than affection. Dante holds up his hand and warns me not to step any closer. Just like I expected, they're ready to throw fists for her. My jaw clenches. "Why did you hit her?" I ask. My voice is soft, but there is no hiding the rage within. A few seconds pass before she gives a reaction. She narrows her eyes and pouts her lips. "How can you ask me that?" she demands. "Is she all that you care about now? I'm sure she told you her side of the story. But what about mine? She wasn't exactly nice to me either, Atticus. I did what I had to defend myself." "People are staring," Clarissa says as she joins us. "Maybe we should talk about this somewhere private." I knew that the right thing to do was to listen to Clarissa, but I was too angry to act logically. I knew I would regret it when I calmed down, but I would deal with the consequences after I got the answers I was looking for. "Since when do you behave this way?" I hiss. "What you did to her is not okay, Anya. It was very wrong and so unlike you. You should apologize to Autumn, and you should do it immediately." She laughs. "It's funny how I'm always in the wrong in your eyes when in the past I've always been right. You are changing, and it's not a good look for you. And why should I apologize to her when I was only defending myself?" "You know that's not true. You're not always wrong in my eyes," I growl. "Your actions recently are so out of character. First, you hit Autumn on her engagement night, and then you try to kiss me. And now I have to wonder if you were the one who had someone set that camera up. How else did they know exactly where to find us?" Anya covers her mouth with her hand and stares at me with a look of betrayal on her face. Dead silence follows as she tries to recover from what I'd just said to her. Was I too harsh? The look on her face told me that I was. Maybe I shouldn't have accused her of something so horrible without having the proper evidence. She's still my mate. When she hurts, I hurt as well. When the first tear leaves her eyes, I feel a piercing pain in my chest. "You've never accused me of something like this before, not in all those years I've known you. You've never not trusted me before. You've never questioned my character. I feel like I don't even know you anymore. Is this how you treat the woman that has loved you for so many years? And so what if I tried to kiss you? It might be easy for you to drop me, Atticus, but it's anything but easy for me. If you'd just heard what I had to say before jumping to assumptions and listening to everyone else but me, you would have realized how wrong you are to say those things to me." "Anya." She holds up her hand to stop me. "I will never forgive you for speaking to me like this in front of so many people. I wasn't the one that hit your fiancé first. She started it. Maybe she conveniently left that part out, but you, out of all persons, should have known the type of person I am." It's then that I notice the red bruise on her arm. Was this true? Did Autumn hit her first? Was Anya only defending herself all this time? Had she been the victim? If that were the case, I'd made a terrible mistake. I've known Anya longer than I've known Autumn. We've shared so many personal things between us. I've never doubted her before. How could I turn on her when she needed me the most? I watch with a heavy heart as she turns and storms out of our home. Dante runs after her, but I know under these circumstances, I will have to watch her leave without doing anything. I'd already done plenty of damage for the day. I had to watch my actions, at least for the rest of tonight. "Congratulations," Damon hissed. "After everything she's been through, you've made it 100 times worse for her. I hope you feel good about yourself now, brother." "Do you believe that lie?" Clarissa demands from us. She seems to be the angriest amongst us. That's expected since Anya isn't her favorite person in the world. Autumn is one of the sweetest girls I've ever met, and she loves Anya. She will never hurt her, not in the way Anya wants you to believe. Do you really think Autumn would have tried to hurt her physically? She already feels guilty about the entire thing. "Clarissa," Damon growls, "why do you always have the worst things to say about Anya?" Clarissa folds her arms stubbornly. "Am I the only one? Isn't it clear that she doesn't like me either? You're always so blind when it comes to her, Damon. It makes me sick. For once, I wish you would wake up and see her for who she is." Before Damon can say anything, Clarissa is the next one that storms out. It's just the two of us now, and I think we both have plenty on our minds. Damon always listened to Clarissa. The only time he didn't was when it concerned Anya. I don't think this time would be any different. But what about me? Who would I listen to? Who could I trust? I was confused and conflicted about what to do. If Autumn did lie to me, that would make things worse between us. Our relationship would feel strained. I wouldn't be able to trust her anymore. And maybe that's a good thing. I was getting too involved in her life way too quickly. I had to take a step back and give myself time to adjust to everything. That meant I had to keep my distance from Autumn, at least until the wedding. I would have to keep her away from me as much as possible,